Hello, nonprofit leaders. I'm Sarah Olivieri, your host, and this podcast is here to assist people like you, executive directors, board members, and other nonprofit leaders, make a bigger impact with insights, tips, and lessons learned from nonprofit leaders and experts. Having been an executive director, a board member, and now a consultant and coach, I truly understand the challenges you face. And that's why I'm here. I'm all about working smarter, not harder, so you can make a bigger impact without the burnout. And so is our sponsor, DonorBox. DonorBox isn't just a suite of helpful fundraising tools, it's a partner that helps you raise more money and supports you in retaining your donors. I love their forward-thinking approach. Visit donorbox.org to learn more. And don't forget to sign up for the Inspired Nonprofit Leadership newsletter, where you'll get bite-sized, actionable tips just for nonprofit leaders like you, delivered weekly to your inbox. Sign up at inspirednonprofitleadership.com/sign up. Okay, let's dive into today's episode. Today, we're going to be talking about the power of coaching for nonprofit leaders. I have a question for you. Are you and your leadership team feeling the strain of tackling complex challenges? And maybe you're wishing, wow, I wish we had a strategic thought partner. Or I wish, maybe it's not you and your team, maybe it's you as the CEO, or sometimes called executive director, thinking about something you're facing that you want to think through, but isn't really developed enough to be talking to your full staff about, right? We've probably all had those experiences if you've been a CEO or you are one now, where there are things, if you talk to your staff or you talk to the board in their current state of undevelopedness, it would scare them, right? So we're not talking about not being transparent, we're talking about being prepared in your role. So today, in the next few minutes, I'm going to talk to you about why the lack of coaching or consulting type strategic advisor mentor support is a major contributor to burnout in nonprofit leaders, and what having that support can do for you, that kind of difference. So, why do so many nonprofit leaders handle complex issues alone? And I think it's just cultural. I think somehow in the for profit space, here's a little secret in case you didn't know, they hire coaches all the time. The top executives all have at least one coach. The successful business folks, they join masterminds. They spend they spend not just tens of thousands, I was thinking like 20s of thousands at a time, but I don't think that's something we say. I'll call it 20s of thousands. They spend a lot of money getting support and guidance because it's really important. So for some reason, I'm sure you can guess why, poverty mindset, scarcity mindset, we don't seem to have this culture built up very strongly in the nonprofit space. Would those for-profit people be spending that kind of money if it didn't have a huge return on investment? Of course they wouldn't. So we need to change this dynamic in the nonprofit space. And how does it create a return on investment? Well, there's two reasons. One is, or two ways, I should say. There's kind of your pure coach who helps you work through things. And this can be really helpful because even if you're a coach yourself, right? Like I'm a coach and consultant. I'm kind of like the hybrid. We'll talk about that later in a moment. But even if you are one yourself, even if you are the expert yourself, it's really hard to be your own coach. And yes, there are some strategies you can do and be happy to talk to you about some kind of self-coaching techniques. But there is nothing like having a real human to see you better than you can see yourself. Someone who's there to be a cheerleader, who's there to hold up the mirror and point out where are the things that you could be focusing your attention, or not so much point out, because that's not really how it works in a coaching engagement, to help you realize the things about yourself, right? You point them out in yourself when you have a great coach. So when you have that happening, you can be a much more effective leader. You get to skip a lot of mistakes. You get to skip past worrying about things that you shouldn't be worrying about. The other type, I call it like a consulting or strategic advisor type mentor support, is somebody who has expertise or experience who can actually be a strategic thought partner with you, who can actually help you run through scenarios, who brings an additional good kind of luggage, right? We've got the bad luggage, but who brings good luggage with them and pulls out. You ever been with that person who is really well prepared and you're like, my bathing suit. And someone's like, I brought an extra. Or, the well-prepared mom, that's total stereotype, or well-prepared dad who kid's hungry and whoops, I brought an extra sandwich, right? That person who has a whole extra set of tools and experience that they can bring to the table, almost letting you clone yourself, right? So it's kind of like for a little bit, you've got two executive directors. They're not going to do so much doing like you are, but they're going to help you think through the challenges and come to better decisions faster. Make fewer mistakes. When we make fewer mistakes, when we find the right things to do faster, there is always a huge return on investment. So those are the two reasons why coaching and mentors or strategic thought partners, or sometimes they go under the title consultant, get a return on investment. And the secret that the rest of the for-profit world is doing this like crazy. So you're not going to be out there. So when should you think about getting either a coach or some sort of strategic guidance or thought partner? If you've been through a transition, if you're new in your role, if you're preparing to leave your role and you want to leave it, in a good state, if you feel stuck, if you feel overwhelmed, if you are thinking everything's going really well, but I don't know what I don't know, and I suspect there's something that could be better, right? If you're in that place, well, I don't know what I don't know. Great time to especially hire the kind of expert strategic thinker type guide. Those are my tips for you today. I would love to hear in the comments or via email or chat on LinkedIn. If you're connected with me on LinkedIn, or if not, just look for me, Sarah Olivieri. You're welcome to send me a message. If you'd like to send me an email question about whether this kind of help is right for you, or if you're in one of those situations I just mentioned and you're wondering if the timing is right, you can email me, Sarah, SARAH, @pivotground.com. Otherwise, if you'd like tips like these in your email inbox, please go to inspirednonprofitleadership.com/sign up, where in addition to being the host of the Inspired Nonprofit Leadership podcast, I also send a weekly newsletter that's really just quick tips or one topic a week. That's there for you as well. If you're thinking, oh my God, Sarah, I don't just want coaching and consulting advice. I want to actually work with you as my coach, strategic thought partner, have a little Sarah in my pocket. A lot of my clients tell me I hear Sarah's voice in my head when I'm working. What would Sarah tell me? That's when they get to the point of self-coaching. You can do that by going to pivotground.com/application. It is a very short application just to tell me a little bit about your situation and yourself, and then it will take you at a page where you can schedule a call with me and we can see what we can do for there. Until next time, I wish you all the best.
You've been listening to Inspired Nonprofit Leadership. Thanks so much for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss a single episode or the bonus episodes. And while you're at it, please leave a rating and review, and be sure to share with your friends and colleagues. Tune in every week for more useful insights and wisdom on nonprofit leadership. Thanks so much for all you do for the communities you serve. Until next time, all the best.